My name is Daniel, and I have never told anyone this story in full. Not my wife, not my closest friends, not even the therapist I saw for a year after it happened. I hinted at it once or twice, made jokes about the dumb things I did in my early 20s, but I never shared the truth. It's been nearly a decade now, and I still wake up some nights drenched in sweat, my ears ringing with a laugh that doesn't belong in this world. Maybe writing it down will help me understand, or maybe it will make things worse. The summer of 2016, I was 23, fresh out of college, broke and restless. My two closest friends, Ethan and Jamie, convinced me to come back home for the summer. We spent most nights drinking, reliving our high school days, and doing stupid things we should have outgrown. One night, while we sat around a campfire in Ethan's backyard, he brought up Blackwell Asylum. The asylum was an old, abandoned psychiatric hospital on the outskirts of town. It had been closed down in the early 1980s after a string of scandals. Overcrowding, mistreatment of patients, and, most chilling, a series of unexplained disappearances. For decades it had loomed at the edge of town like a scar, its windows shattered, its walls swallowed by ivy. Everyone knew the stories. People who went on a dare and never came back out. Whispers about a girl who haunted the upper floors, doors that refused to open until you were begging to get out. Ethan grinned when he suggested we go at midnight. Jamie laughed at first, but I saw the way his eyes darted toward the tree line. He was as curious as I was. And me? I didn't want to be the coward, not in front of them. So we agreed. Midnight, just the three of us. The asylum loomed like a corpse against the night sky when we arrived. The front gate sagged with rust, and the air around it felt unnaturally heavy, as if the building itself exhaled. My flashlight trembled in my hand as we stepped through the entrance. Inside, the smell hit me first, mildew, rot, and something sharp beneath it like old metal. The walls were peeling, the paint curling like dead skin. The sound of our footsteps echoed too long, as though the asylum wanted to keep the memory of us. At first, we tried to treat it like a joke. Ethan rattled old gurneys and made ghost noises. Jamie dared me to open a door labeled Ward C. But the deeper we went, the quieter we became. The hall stretched on endlessly, lined with doors that gaped open like mouths. Every beam of our flashlights seemed swallowed by the darkness. It wasn't just the decay that unsettled me. It was the sensation of being watched. On the second floor, we found a locked metal door. Ethan, of course, insisted we break it open. Inside was a records room. Dust-covered shelves were stacked with patient files, their papers soft and crumbling with age. Boxes of reels and binders filled every corner. On a desk in the middle of the room sat a single folder, lying open as if waiting for us. Jamie picked it up. The name on the file made my stomach twist. Rachel Blackwell. She was the founder's daughter, the girl the asylum had supposedly been named for. According to the file, she had been admitted at age 14 for violent delusions. But the notes didn't read like medical records. They read like confessions. One page read, "She knows things she shouldn't." Another, staff report whispering in empty halls, always her voice. The final entry was scrawled in jagged handwriting. "She is still here." That's when Jamie froze. He swore he heard something, a whisper soft like a child's laugh. Ethan grinned, trying to act unbothered, and said we should go up to the third floor. He wanted to find her. The third floor was colder, unnaturally so. My breath fogged in the air, though it was the middle of July. The hallway was long and narrow, lined with patient rooms. Most doors hung open, their padded walls rotting, the silence oppressive. But one door at the very end was closed. We didn't want to open it. We didn't even approach it. It had opened by itself. The room inside was small, padded, empty, except for the girl standing in the corner. She looked no older than 14, barefoot, her skin pale as paper, her long black hair hanging over her face. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there, facing the wall. Ethan whispered, "Holy shit, are you seeing this?" The girl twitched. Not like a person, more like a glitch in reality. 1 second, she was across the room. The next, she was standing in the doorway, only inches away. Her head tilted, her hair falling back just enough for me to glimpse her mouth. She was smiling, but her teeth were too many, too sharp. Jamie screamed. His flashlight went out. Mine flickered wildly, and in those strobing moments, I saw her shape in impossible places, on the ceiling, crouched in the corner, crawling across the floor. And then, in an instant, she was gone. We ran. Our footsteps thundered down the stairs, but the building wasn't the same anymore. The hallways twisted in ways they hadn't before. Doors led to brick walls, staircases ended in ceilings. Every path turned us deeper inside. The whispers followed, not from behind us, but from within us, worming into our ears, our thoughts, our very bones. I remember flashes, not a sequence. Jamie pounding on a locked exit, his fists bloody, screaming for help that never came. Ethan laughing, but the laugh wasn't his. It was high-pitched, girlish, echoing in every corridor. My flashlight catching glimpses of bare feet trailing just behind us, always there, always watching. At some point, we found a door that looked like freedom. We shoved it open, praying for outside air, but on the other side was the same hallway we had just left. That was when I blacked out. I woke up at dawn, slumped over the steering wheel of my car. The asylum gates loomed in front of me. My clothes were damp, my shoes caked with mud. My phone was dead. My flashlight was gone. Jamie and Ethan were nowhere. The police said they must have run off, that maybe we'd been drinking, or maybe there were drugs involved. No one ever found their bodies. No one ever found any trace of them at all. But I know the truth. The asylum didn't let them go. It let me go. And some nights, when I'm lying awake, I hear it again. Ethan's laugh, high-pitched, childlike, echoing in the dark.